Hello everybody, welcome to Legacies of Caine, a Vampire the Masquerade role-playing game series. We of course are all here for our 9th episode. If you haven't joined us before, this crew of vampiric adventurers has been going on a couple of missions. This is their second mission and it's in London. We'll kind of go on a review of what happened last time since we missed last week, I believe, right? We just missed 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But why don't we kind of go around and see how everybody thinks their character's kind of doing with the... especially because in the last episode, they came up with an interesting plan. Nathan, how's things going with you?
Well, I'm pretty solid on the plan. Plan sounds good. Burn down the chantry, more or less. Get in, get the stuff we're looking for, get back out.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of room for a little bit of improv if necessary, but yeah, pretty solid.
Okay, Dawn, how's things going with Dawn?
She's pretty sure she's gonna get set on fire by accident. And die horribly.
Mm-hmm. Die again.
Die again, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This time might be a little worse.
Mm-hmm. Slightly
Running to
worse?
death is
Yes,
fun.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's excited. She's ready to steal the fire truck. I want to play with the horn.
You're ready to steal a lot of things.
I'm gonna steal so many things.
Samuel, how's it going with you?
I'm excited for this plan.
It's a hell of a plan.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
So our team basically, in order to get in with a group that's going to help them with their actual mission, they basically are on a kind of side quest here to steal a ceremonial staff from the Tremere, which are magic-using vampires. So they came up with a great plan. Get a firebomb of some kind, have someone that they can get as an accomplice place it, get out, set off the bomb, then they come in as firefighters, find the staff, kidnap the person that they need to kidnap, because that's also part of their entire mission, and get that person out through the ambulance that they're going to steal. And they can also use a bit of hose, I guess your plan was, to get the staff out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where they're at right now. Foolproof, yes. So far you contacted... Full resistant. So far you contacted Lars the mechanic, and he is arranging to get some kind of firebomb made for you. And you also have talked to some of the local crime people to arrange mooks. Hired mooks. Oh, I'm sorry, goons. Hired goons.
Yeah, the bad guys are mooks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're only goons.
We have goon anti-mooks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So once again, morning comes. Everybody rests the evening, and at the beginning of the night, while you're all kind of getting yourself around and prepping for your long evening of prep for this entire ordeal, you actually get a call from New York.
Me?
Sure. Probably Nathan. Nathan would be the person that would get the call.
Hello?
Yes. Nathan.
Is this Charles?
It sounds a lot like Charles. I have something that you need to help with, unfortunately.
Yes.
It seems that, there's another job that we need young Eric for. Can you inform him? There will be a plane ready for him in a couple hours.
I never thought I'd thank you for anything.
I know. We're neutering you, preventing you from... Okay, you hung up on him as he was going to go into, like, a insulting speech of some kind. Mm-hmm.
I could tell. I was waiting for him to start talking. Oh, I'll let Eric know significantly more politely.
Mm-hmm. Eric will pack up his stuff, heading out, leaving the three of you.
But she gets to keep her uniform, right?
Yeah.
All of them.
Okay, good. Every color.
You will get then a text message afterwards, and all it says is, Helena is seeing if she can find someone to assist you.
Ooh.
Is this the same number that just called me?
Yes. Which happens to be like an actual like public, like I wouldn't call it public line, but
It's like the normal access phone number that you call to get to her office,
Yes.
not a specific person.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
So what's the plan then? What are you three going to go do first?
So we've still got to wait for the bomb. We've got our goons pretty much set, right?
Yes. Candy was arranging large amounts of like drugs. Remember?
Oh,
I think
okay.
we should
Yeah,
start
she was
planning.
getting the drugs, and I went and...
Like horse tranquilizers. You're like,
Yes.
are you sure you want something like this, hun?
So I know we've done a lot of planning recently, but I think we should start planning our firehouse heist.
Yeah.
I don't think that requires a lot of planning.
Oh
I
no,
think we just need to go find a firehouse and acquire.
we just need to decide who the driver is, who's gonna grab the. Because I think it would be nice to use someone stealing a fire engine to
Wait,
have someone else sneak in and take the outfits.
to clarify, I don't remember us stealing a fire engine. We were stealing an ambulance.
We
And
were,
we were
gonna,
stealing-
Oh no, we were gonna use the fire engine. That's right.
We don't actually need to use the fire
I mean,
engine.
like we're gonna use it when it shows up on the scene. We're gonna use that as the excuse.
Yeah, we're gonna blend in with them.
I
Yes.
forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I
And-
might steal it.
And two of us are going to come up in our rental car, and so we'll need one of those like cool little attachy light things, so that we can pretend to be.
Amazon.
Yeah, I thought you were going to have a car full of you and Mooks coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So like there's like 5 or 6 of you coming up in a vehicle being like, "Hey, we were on training exercises. Hey, we're here to help."
Basically, yes.
Yeah. Honestly, we might not be able to steal or we might not have to steal the uniforms. We could just buy them. Buy like prop uniforms that look enough like the real thing. It'd make things a lot easier, I'd say.
I'm not sure about you.
Hmm.
I would very much like to have as much protection between me and the fire as possible.
Yeah.
That's fair. Buy an old outfit on eBay or something.
We might be able to find some at a military surplus outlet or something of that nature. Although, obviously, no guarantees there. If we could find appropriate ones on Amazon, I suppose, that might work. Or
And if we do that, we have to obviously distance ourselves from that, use like a different account, something.
right, have it delivered to a PO box, which we don't currently have. That kind of
That's
thing.
true.
Or just have it delivered to someone else. I imagine Yeezy has an address somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
you could,
easy.
Fair.
you could probably use Candy or Yeezy for getting stuff in, probably.
Yes, but I would much prefer to pass this blame off on Yeezy,
Yeah.
So I think the
as
main
I think
issue
I have a
then
home for Candy back in the States.
is getting an ambulance. That might be the hard part, and hiding the ambulance, unless we're just going to take the ambulance directly to the scene.
What we're doing is we're going to find a couple of places where we might be able to acquire an ambulance, so that we have a space and a backup space just in case one of them happens to be out at the time, and then take it and have that ambulance show up after the fire, or during the fire, so that we can then get in the ambulance, leave, drop off the large package, and then ditch the ambulance.
I have a question for you. While you're
What's up?
talking here, would you have had Candy around, or have her just, like, off somewhere?
She is not currently involved in anything except acquiring the drugs, so not here.
Okay. She's probably then in another area of the house.
Mm-hmm.
What happens with the vehicle we show up in? We just drop it there. Do one of the goons take it?
So the cover story is that someone is a fire marshal or something with some trainees and happens to show up there. So it will be completely reasonable for said fire marshal to then leave in that same car after as the fire has been fought.
Fair enough. All right.
So we have an excellent reason to arrive in the car, leave in the car. We just need someone, or we just need to acquire the ambulance very shortly before the fire actually starts.
You're probably cool for an ambulance somewhere where there's not a lot of people around. Take out the crew, and then we've got an ambulance.
True. I think we should reserve that as backup in case there are none nearby, because it'd be easier to take one that is unattended.
Agreed. And also, a lot less possibility of connecting us to it if the ambulance just happens to be missing, rather than if a whole crew gets beaten up. Especially since, generally, when an ambulance is called to a location, there are also police notified and other things.
And I can't remember. Someone was going to come down with me. I think it was going to be, like, because I was going to go downstairs, right? And grab the lady. But someone was going to come down with me. I can't remember if it was one of you guys or if it was just multiple goons.
I believe that Dawn was... Either Dawn or Eric was going to come down with you, and the other one was going to
think it
stay
was
up with
Eric.
me.
Yeah, I think
it
Eric was
was
going to
Eric.
go with you, but also some goons.
Okay, I'll just take some goons.
Mhm.
They can...
Like, you have, like, 2 goons with you.
It might be worth bringing Dawn, as ideally there will be no fight, but if there is, she would be the most useful.
I
Don
won't be
can-
able to see anything. Is the one thing though.
won't
So
be
if we
able
let
to
off
see
the smoke bomb, I'm not gonna be able to see anything.
anything.
'Cause that's why Eric
That
was going.
was
because
why Eric was
he
going.
could see, yeah.
Well,
I mean, I could beat people up in the dark.
how difficult would it be to acquire infrared goggles?
Amazon.
Amazon, or while we steal the stuff from the fire department, as I imagine they have a pair.
Probably
It'd
not
be
infrared.
useful for seeing
Infrared,
through the
infrared,
Oh,
yes
no, not
and no.
infrared, but like
Yeah.
night vision,
Something to see.
something to see through smoke.
Yeah, they probably have something. It's probably not going to be as effective as you want, because it probably would allow you to... Usually most of those things do use a level of infrared to them anyway, basically. Which means it's a very hard balancing act, especially with something like a fire where there's a lot of heat. But the other problem
Except
is...
that's not going to be a problem with just the smoke bombs.
But the other problem is of possible things you might have to worry about, 50% of them will have heat to their bodies.
Oh, yeah.
Ghouls still are warm. Vampires are not.
Is Discord, like, freezing occasionally for you guys?
I haven't
Or is that
noticed.
just me?
I haven't
No.
noticed that on my end.
Fair enough.
But I don't normally have it that I can see it, like, perfectly all the seconds, so, you know.
Yeah, I have it, like, direct center of my screen, and sometimes it just freezes completely for me. I'm like, whoa.
Even with 2 monitors, I have lots of layered stuff, so I can't get a perfect view.
Yeah, I've got you guys right on my main screen. and I haven't noticed any stalling, which is kind of unusual because usually somebody cuts out every once in a while. But no, it's been fine
happened
for
to
me.
this week.
It's probably just on my end because Brady says I look fine. So
Yeah, it's been Discord's been breaking a little. There's some things with it.
if Dawn comes down, she can carry out the lady we need.
Oh yeah.
We were gonna have to carry out a few other people anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think this will be fine. Now, one thing to consider is I feel like the vampires might not be very happy about us taking a ghoul and putting her in an ambulance because they probably don't want her in a hospital.
Not
That's
necessarily.
probably
yeah.
true.
The thing about a ghoul, though, is at least on most, they don't really detect as anything other than a person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's just a little unusual.
Yeah. They usually just have a couple of unusual abilities. Might heal a little faster. Things like that. Ghouls are like somewhere in between, is the thing. So it's not necessarily that, like, if a ghoul went to a hospital, they'd be like, what the heck are you? It would be that, like, if they had a problem that would show something, then it would be suspecting, but most of the time they don't have to worry about that. Like, if you're getting, like, a gunshot looked after or something like that, that's, or, like, stab, or something that they might, patch you up with, probably not going to notice anything because most of the time people get patched up, heal up, or might leave. So.
And how many drugs are we getting?
Candy was getting you a bunch of, like, horse tranquilizer, I think we described it as.
Is it going to be like everybody going downstairs is going to get one syringe each or something?
I guess if you want to try it, it will not. It really won't have a effect on the vampires. Is the only thing.
That's fair, but we have Dawn for that.
Yeah.
Dawn has an effect on vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a gun. Not very
Oh,
good at
trust me,
using
she-
it though.
Yeah, I have no shooting. None.
Plus, didn't we agree that the goons would have guns?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they can handle that as well.
Yeah.
We've got a lot. We've got enough to handle some vampires.
The only possible way to affect a vampire with a drug is to get them to take in blood that's laced with something.
So, could we, like, mix the drugs with blood and inject that?
I think it has to be like they have to consume
have
it.
to.
They have to consume it.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Granted, you could always come up with something to, like, force feed a vampire, but that's
ready
not
for this?
really easy.
No, you ready for this?
Uh-huh.
We are firemen, vampires that offer refreshments while saving their lives.
Come down with a little tea-set,
Yeah,
little
exactly.
cakes.
While we're saving their lives, would you like a complimentary soda? It's got blood.
It's still cold.
Dawn's just carrying like a cooler.
Yeah.
All right. So
It's not actually the plan, but
All right. So currently, plan is that Dawn and Samuel will head down to the library to acquire our secondary target. Did I just get blurry? There we go.
Yeah.
And you could probably have one extra goon because I think we said that you could fit 6 in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So you and one of the goons could then go looking for the staff.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Meow. Meow. All right, so which of your parts of this plan are you working on right now?
Well, we need to scout out emergency locations where we could acquire an ambulance.
Sure.
We need to figure out where to acquire our firemen's uniforms and equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And ideally, we need to find our inside pyre, so to speak.
Which I think you were saying the Anarchs are probably your best bet because they're the most in on the job.
Right.
Alright.
Or alternatively, just hire someone completely unrelated to the issue.
Well, I mean, you could do that too. You could try to find someone. So,
Or we could ask the Anarchs first.
I feel like the Anarchs are the best bet because, for one, they're probably not going to charge us
yeah.
necessarily.
Ooh.
And,
They're gonna
Not
be,
any more than they're already charging us.
Yeah, and they're going to be like probably more cautious about it because they care about their.
Because they know
their
they're
own
going.
asses.
The intent is for them to end up with the ghoul in the first place.
Right.
That's true.
and the fact is also they probably are more invested in not getting out that they were involved in this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Samuel, you have the best track record with the Anarchs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that part of the job is up to you then.
I think I already made a call to them, didn't I?
You arranged a meeting today. Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Right. Dawn, would you like to go out for a drive?
Ooh, yeah.
All right. So Samuel, I guess you're heading to the club.
Yeah.
All right. So it won't take you very long to, of course, arrive at.
Also, it wouldn't be today; it would be tonight.
Oh, that's right. Technically, tonight. Yeah, I'm sorry. Tonight. It doesn't take you very long to, of course, arrive at the Carfax Abbey. As usual, it's hopping. It's hopping every night of the week. You're not sure if it has an off night during the week. It's a goth club, so I mean, like, goths don't really have a Sunday or a Saturday. I mean, a Saturday or Friday. It's goth night every night. Mm-hmm.
Except for Tuesday mornings, then it's country music and karaoke.
Yep.
Strangely enough. It's one of the ghouls there. One of the ghouls really likes country music and karaoke, so he's like, after everything's said and done, he's like, hey guys, party here. Anyway. So, is it just you today?
It would probably be just me. It's usually just me when it comes to talking to these boys.
I mean, last time you brought candy.
They don't like us.
I don't want candy here.
Uh-huh.
If either of these guys want to come, they're welcome to.
It
They
sounded...
don't like me.
They don't
That's
like...
fair.
This is...
I fit in with the golf pretty good. My dad was on point.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
They might like you. Maybe if I bring Don, they'll see. Wow, they've got this in capable hands.
Sure. Sure. That or Dawn's going for a drive with Nathan.
So yeah, it's up to you, Don.
Meeting
would
or
you perhaps
scouting?
get a snack on the drive? 'Cause I could do with a snack soon.
I mean, you technically, I guess, have, like, in on an insane asylum, technically, or
I
something.
do have an in on an insane asylum, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should get Nathan some scrubs as well.
They're not
Let's talk about
hookers.
scrubs. Yeah, but he
Or I'm
can
sorry,
come along
they're
for the
not.
ride.
They're not people of. They're not prostitutes.
But I could pay them for sex.
They're crazy, so it's kind of hard to tell if they're accepting or not. Some of them easier than others, I guess.
It's really easy to tell if they're accepting. Did they take it? And then,
Oh.
did they take it?
Oh, jeez.
Mhm.
I apologize to those in a mental health ward. I would not actually do that.
I am livid.
I was wondering what that green sheet was covering.
I'll go along to the club. I'll go dance again.
Okay.
I'll just be there just in case.
The kind of bouncer at the front kind of eyes the two of you up, lets you in. He kind of recognizes you as having business upstairs. Doesn't say anything. As usual, the club is hopping. There's like a low like beat kind of going on as there's like the shuffling goth dance going on in the center of the room.
Yep, I just make my way over to the bouncer man. He knows me. Give him a nod.
You'll of course be once again escorted upstairs and to Hortson Holden's office. Samuel, my good friend, and you brought
buddy
John with you. What kind of business do you need with me today?
So, I forget what we were coming to talk to him about. He was going to be the one that actually started the fire, right? Or we're going to have him...
He's going to be the one that deposits our remotely detonated incendiary device.
Okay.
You're going to arrange for him to get someone to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Not him directly, obviously.
Yes.
So, we plan on lighting the chantry on fire. And...
He's gonna kind of give this like inquisitive look, shaking his head, like thinking about it for a little while. Like, he's like, okay.
Don't worry, there's a plan around this. But we were wondering...
Please tell me.
So, the idea is that you would provide manpower, or at least one man,
Okay.
to place an incendiary device in the chantry. However they can get that done. Place goes up in flames. We come in as firefighters and save the day.
And I'm assuming while you're saving the day, you would acquire the various materials that are required of you for visiting the place.
Of course. Your friend will be placed in an ambulance, which will be taken to a location where you may pick her up.
Well, that of course is nice. This seems like a interesting plan.
It is. I won't deny that. But I think it is a plan that will work. We've got most of the details ironed out. It's just a matter of starting the fire and obviously arranging a location with you for the drop-off.
Well. This is going to be an interesting one, because I don't think I have the kind of person you need, but I might be able to help you get someone. You see, I don't have any Tremere under my purview. And the only way you're going to get somewhere that will be willing to, or could, get in there and leave behind a present like you're planning, would be to use someone who is Tremere. Huh.
But you say you know of a way we could potentially find someone to help us?
Yes, I can. It's not going to be as easy as you'd like, though, but,
It never is.
I think I know someone. Well, I can make a few calls. I'll contact you with some information later on this evening that will point you in the right direction.
That will be greatly appreciated.
But we're going to have to dance with another devil. One that, if this is the only plan you think will work, well, we might be able to get away with this if we play the cards correctly.
I would like to point out that during our extensive discussions of the plans, we would probably have mentioned that if it's remotely detonated and fairly easily hidden, the person delivering the device doesn't necessarily need to know what it does.
Well, the problem is, like, he doesn't have a Tremere in his that would be able to get in there in
Yes.
general.
And the other thing about the device is it might be better for the person to know about it, because if not, they might suspect you unless you're going very outside the box, which is not always easy to arrange someone without, information.
Sure.
Not impossible, but...
Yeah. I'm going to leave it to Force and Holden's discretion as to whether
Yes.
they know.
Okay. As for the other two of you, what's your plan? Or no, what? I'm sorry.
John's chilling in
Nathan.
the
I'm
club.
sorry. That's what I forgot. Not John's chilling. Nathan, what's your
John's my
plan?
bodyguard.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the first step would be to just figure out what fire stations are nearby, and which ones would be the first contacted. Like, which ones are the closest, basically.
You can see that there are three You find out there are 3 fire stations nearby. One of them is probably the most likely to be called, but the other 2, if in case of the size of the fire, might be able to be called in. So you get an idea of those pretty easily. I'm not gonna fire station A, B, and C. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. The one that's closest, the one that's sort of middling, and the one that's farthest away. Okay. Well, I guess I will go kind of stroll by each of them and see, like, I'm not super legitimately familiar with fire station stuff that they have, so I don't know, like, how many ambulances each one would have, or I'm just going to see if any of them have multiple.
Alright, they probably have a couple of engines. I mean, the way that you think of, like, a fire station here, you know, having, like, a bay for it and an area for people, it's pretty similar. You know, there isn't, like, a lot of necessary difference. Certain fire stations have certain, different designs, of course, but the idea of the, building with a bay for a number of trucks and stuff like that is at least fairly universal between countries.
Right. I'm just checking to see, like, how many paramedic vehicles or ambulances each fire station has.
I don't think they have any.
They usually don't. Some of them do have, like, their own one that's just in case of, like, emergency triage kind of things rather than taking someone away. But it's kind of hard to tell how many vehicles they have unless you break into the buildings. Most of them usually have them in inside.
A lot of the time the doors are open though.
It's late at night. They're not open.
Yeah. No.
A lot of times the doors have windows.
Yeah, which you can see in. Do you have any way of seeing in the dark?
I don't know. I probably brought a flashlight along if I can't otherwise see
I mean, you have your phone.
well enough in the dark.
Okay. So you're gonna, well, if your phone will light up at least to the door, but, like, looking inside is not gonna work. Like, shine a phone through the window.
A little phone torch out, like, God damn.
Well, no, on the back of your phone you can turn the flashlight part on.
That's true.
It's a nice
That's
bright
not-
LED.
It's pretty bright. It's not bad. if you're gonna look through the windows like that, you can see that we'll say like most of them you can see at least 4 trucks, actual trucks in
Okay.
them, but like farther vehicles back and stuff, it's hard to notice.
Sure. How about local hospitals?
There's probably one major hospital, a couple of minor clinics around. Maybe one like sort of like we'll say medium medical location. As best describe it.
Okay. And can I amble my way over that way?
Sure.
Check how many ambulances they have?
The major hospital probably has a number of them. We'll say like maybe in total like half a dozen. You're thinking?
Okay.
The medium place probably has at least one ambulance nearby normally, just in case it's needed. Most of the time it probably relies on using the ambulances of the major place. There probably is also like more private ambulances sometimes around for certain jobs, for like, transport of people.
Are there any distinguishing marks on the one by the smaller clinic? Like, does it say it's from this clinic, or does it just say ambulance, emergency, that kind of stuff?
It probably would have some pretty generic markings. Pretty generic. Nothing that majorly connects it to one place or another for that one. The ones at the big hospital are probably more marked for the hospital.
Is the clinic closed when I walk by?
The clinic is probably not fully closed. It probably is like a lot of it shut down, but probably the clinic, since it's more of a medium building, probably has some like people there late night. Probably maybe even has some emergency services too. Not to say like in a big emergency room, but like
but not like the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess if nobody seems to be paying attention, I'll kind of walk up to the ambulance and check the door, see if it's just open or if it's kept locked.
It's locked right now.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Okay. All right.
Did I notice any more or less activity at any of the 3 firehouses? Like, are any of them smaller than the others?
At this time of night, most of them are pretty quiet regardless. I'll say that, like, one of them you came across as they seem... Major truck or something going across my road. Anyway, one of them actually was going out to a fire call of some kind. So a couple of, like, only one of the engines was heading out, so it's probably not, like, a large call. But one of the engines will go kind of moving out, and the doors will close behind them, and it looks like there's more lights and activities around that place. We'll say that's the one that was at the medium distance.
Sure. Okay. Cool. So I'll as I'm walking by, I'll kind of get an idea of relative size of the 3 and that kind of thing. Okay.
Yep. All right. And I guess you're meeting up with everybody then?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody gets back together, back at the flat, and shares your information. What is the next part of your plan, now that you've kind of arranged things with Hortson and hoping for the best?
So we've kind of got to wait as far as Horson's.
You try and get the uniforms?
The only thing we can do, I think, is the uniforms.
Yep. You want to see how difficult it is to find online?
Yeah, that's the easiest option.
Yeah.
Because if not, we find out the local firemen and we rob their houses.
Well, the firemen would probably have
wouldn't.
stuff at one of the places, at one of the firehouses.
Yeah.
I don't imagine most of them take all that equipment home.
No.
Might take some of it.
If they're, some of them might even be live on site too, depending on the size of the.
Time for a home invasion.
I mean, in that case, it technically would be. So, yeah, I mean, like a fireman's uniform, like a version of one is pretty easy to find online. A one that would actually have some kind of actual protection, that's another thing entirely.
Right.
Those are probably not sold very readily anywhere. I mean, if you scrounge deep enough into the internet, you're bound to find anything. So, I mean...
think I found where to buy them! You can buy uniforms online!
I'll be back just a second.
Well, yeah, you can buy, like, things that are, like, actual uniform, but can you, like, the actual, like, gear is the thing that we're talking about right now, which I don't think...
Yeah, this is got, like, a helmet and everything.
The helmet's fine, but, like, the big...
It's not the... Yeah.
Not, like, the overcoat and stuff, and, like, the mask and all that things.
Yeah.
You probably, like, need air tank mask, you know? Things like that.
Yeah. But you can buy these things actually online. This is really fun to Google.
There are a lot of weird things you can find online pretty easily, and then things that you can't find as easy.
Yep.
Ooh, we should probably get you, like... Do, like, firefighting sergeants, like, wear a special, like, hat or anything?
Yes.
Get one of them.
Usually there's markings on the helmet to discern them if there's, like, someone of more importance, like a chief or something. So you can, like, notice them and be able to listen to their orders easier.
Might be worthwhile.
Yeah. I like online shopping a lot. This is great.
This is acceptable.
We also might not want to steal the chief's hat or whatever from one of the closest fire stations, though, just because they might, well, know each other.
True.
And if they see somebody walking up with John's hat, and it's not John, problem.
That would probably be a good idea to maybe, like, not even, like, maybe not go chief, but maybe, like, you know, like a sergeant or something, like a medium level person that would be less likely to be recognized, too.
Mm-hmm. Just got promoted, haven't had my welcoming celebration yet. Now go over there and put out that fire.
So planning on trying to buy it then, or are you going to try to actually steal it from a location? And which one, or one that you haven't been to yet, if you're going to steal it?
So would we want to steal it from one outside of London, so they're not looking for us in London?
That's probably a good plan.
It's easy enough to find where firehouses outside of London are, so you can find where there's one that you could probably then, you know, plan to break into, steal all the equipment, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Find a small town one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There won't be much security compared to the city ones anyway.
How much humanity does everybody have?
Let's
6.
6.
Well, let me ask a different question. How much conscience does everyone have?
3.
Yeah. Samuel's probably not going to be stealing anything at all.
So what I'm thinking is, since we have time before we find our associate and get all of our equipment and everything, in deference to Samuel's conscience, we could acquire 1 or 2 suits from a variety of firehouses in the area.
Good news is that Samuel can have theft and not have anything on his conscience, because that's humanity of 7. You're good with theft.
Okay.
So none of you have to worry, because I think he's got the highest humanity out of all of you.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that would not leave a lot of people with a completely unequipped fire department.
Now,
That's true. Also, they always have spares.
now, there is something you will all have to kind of worry about, because intentional property damage is humanity of 5. Now, granted, you're technically indirectly doing that, so it's sort of like, I guess it's, you probably still will feel bad about it. You know, it's sort of like
You could leave them money to buy new ones.
to like repair the building or something.
No. He's talking about destroying the Tremere Chancery,
Yes.
not the
Oh,
theft.
I have a conscience? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you all have a conscience.
Yeah.
You technically all have
Shit.
it. It's technically better to have humanity and try to work with it, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I am perfectly happy reconciling this by saying we are giving them the lead on where one of the things that we are stealing from them is going.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
There's
And
a lot of yelling going on right now.
Uh-oh.
and as far as I know, we have no intention of killing anyone.
No. No matter.
Outside of self-defense, of course.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately for you, if you would accidentally injure someone, it's not on your conscience at this point in time. None of you. Yep.
Or even if we intentionally injure them because they're trying to kill us.
Mm.
Is that correct also? I'm double checking.
Injury to another, accidental or otherwise, is sort of like meh. Like you're not committing manslaughter. You know, it's like self-defense. So self-defense is like definitely more excused, if that would be behind it. But again, you are arranging for a firebomb in a place filled with vampires, so you might feel bad about it. Just gonna say that.
Okay.
Just a little fireball.
We'll deal with
Just a
that
little
afterwards.
Yeah.
I might cry for a few weeks afterwards, you know?
Tears of blood.
Yeah, just everyone.
Anyway, alright. As you kind of are planning out for where to steal some fire stuff, you get a call. Well, technically, Samuel gets a call.
Hello.
Samuel! It's a good friend, Mr. Holden. Hortz,
Happy to
yes.
hear from you.
So I think I found a lead for you on someone that might be able to help you out. I had to give a call to an associate who's a little more dangerous to contact, and he gave me a number for someone. No longer associated with him.
Fair enough.
But be warned, I would keep an eye out. Mr. Coven might send some people to keep an eye on what's going on with this man and want to learn something. So if you can do something to arrange not being seen. I would have rather not contacted him, but he's in a strange position. So,
What kind of? Can you give me any more details, or should I just
oh,
ask
I'm
him
sorry.
myself?
I guess you don't know much about politics around here, do you?
Not really.
Then you wouldn't recognize the name Montgomery Coven. That's a shame.
Would I recognize that name?
You could give me a intelligence. It would be... Let me check here.
Politics?
No, it's a background. That would have to know about it. Give me a second to... Ah! See, I remember there was something I did forget to do. I did not open up my vampire book. Uh-huh. See, I told you there was something I was forgetting, and it was opening up the vampire PDF, so... Of course! Sorry, give me a second here to figure it out. To remember which one I was going to give you for this one here. Because heck knows I'm forgetful. Intelligence status. Kind of know the status of this person, kind of thing. I'll say. So just a straight intelligence roll. This one, fairly common name, so difficulty 6 to know about him a little bit at least.
Okay.
Okay. Nathan doesn't know anything. Sam, if you want to roll it, 2, since you heard the name.
I think you're still muted, my friend.
Yeah. My Discord keeps freezing up completely. Like, it's getting worse and worse.
Oh, God.
For longer
We're both
periods of
having
time.
Discord issues?
It's like, so it was freezing like once every 5 minutes earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like once every 2 seconds.
Ooh.
Oh no.
jeez.
Then, why don't we take the roll here? We'll finish up this little conversation and we'll take
what
our...
was it? It was
just a straight...
status intelligence.
Status intelligence. So if you have... I think you actually have some status. So
I do. I have 1.
Still.
Nice.
If I can find it.
It probably won't show up as something you can normally roll because it's a background. So
Right.
roll it with 1 extra dice then. Just an intelligence with 1 extra dice.
I'm just gonna pick something that I have 1 dice in. Larceny. Here we go. Intelligence larceny.
Okay. All right. So you know quite a bit. The name comes to mind. Montgomery Coven is a Sabbat. He's an Assamite anti-tribute. He's also known as being a Diablerist, and that of a Methuselah. The one that originally was the leader of London for, like, a millennia.
Oh, he was the leader of London?
No, the one he Diablerized. He basically
okay.
ate. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
He ate the leader of London.
Yeah. He drained him
Yeah,
dry,
don't
and
fuck with
basically...
that guy.
Basically, it's one of the ways that vampires can gain more power. You drink all the blood of another vampire, and effectively then you devour their soul in a way.
Oh my.
I want to try that.
It's also one of the most, like, terrible crimes, especially with Camarilla.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sabbat are known for it because they have no regard for that kind of thing.
Fuck.
So Sabbat are kind of... That's why they're kind of almost seen as more villainous. Yeah.
Mm.
They oftentimes do not give a fuck. Now, the thing about Coven is it's known he changed after he Diablerized Mithrias. Mithrias. I gotta say it right because it's weirdly spelled. It's interesting that because you got as many successes as you did, you know that Coven has been striking out to become the sole controller of London, regardless of what association he has. He just wants to rule London. So he's undermining every other power structure in his activities, in a way. He's basically like, has his group of Sabbat, and he's like, look guys, we're going to take control of this, be damned everyone else. Because with this information I will give you, that there is rumors of a coming Sabbat civil war.
Oh.
Ooh.
There's
Oh
been
my.
something's boiling over within the Sabbat, and it seems like Coven's trying to use that to either take control of all the local Sabbat, take control, maybe go back to the Camarilla and take control of the city, or just kill everyone and take control of the city. Whichever seems fine at the time.
Fair enough.
Whichever seems most likely to work.
In that case, on the phone, I will most likely say...
The thing is, though, some of that stuff is not common knowledge at all.
Oh yeah, I'd probably say...
Oh,
Probably most of it. Probably most of the stuff about Coven, like that deeper stuff about him, is... The thing about it is, like, it's unconfirmed stuff, you know, that you've been hearing rumors about.
I've heard some rumors. I know quite a bit about Coven. It's mostly the connection between your contact and Coven that I'm interested in.
You see, Coven has a few numbers. Associates he kept on friendly terms with, especially after more recent years, of some folks that, let's say, left his employment, but did not join any other employments. A few folks that went freelance. He sent me a number of someone. A Tremere that's now freelance. The fact is, the fellow, having given up a previous position he had, could easily, and has easily made trades with the local chantry before. They always are looking out for some information on those that they feel betrayed them. Granted, there aren't that many, but there are a few. There's always a few folks that see the appeal of the Sabbat.
Fair enough. Feel free to send me that number if you would like, and I will get into contact with him.
Okay. Alright. Alright. He will send you a number.
Oh, yeah.
You will know a couple of things, though, which I guess if either of you want to give me an occult roll.
I'm assuming occult intelligence.
Occult intelligence, yes.
So
Because this will be an interesting little thing.
Are you required to have occult to make this roll?
Probably
'Cause
not.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah. Okay. An interesting little fact that you would know by hearing this. There aren't a lot of Tremere anti-tribu left. Something happened that they tried some kind of powerful ritual, and most of them died because of it.
Oh.
The vast majority of them. So either this guy got out basically beforehand, which was the late 90s, when something happened to them, or he's one of the very, very, very lucky few. Very few. Granted, he also could have joined and not been a true anti-tribu. Basically, he could have been because anti-tribu are, in fact, descended from a certain Tremere elder who was exiled and then joined the Sabbat. So they're all his blood. So he could have been another one that just joined the Tremere. Or, joined the Sabbat for a period of time. It's hard to say exactly what it is, but that means there could be... It makes it more interesting about, like, his origins.
So before we make this call, perhaps it's a good time for a break.
Yes, it's a perfect time for a break. Thank you. I was going to actually say that in a second there. I was just checking something quickly to see if there was any other bits of information that I would let you know. So, we are going to go on break. We'll try to fix up any kind of issues. I haven't noticed anything on Discord. I don't know if anybody has noticed anything on the stream yet. I haven't seen anything. But if you have, just say it in chat, and we'll try. Because we're going to try to fix all our issues during the break.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this thing.
I think it's unlikely we'll fix all our issues.
That's true. So, we'll be back in a little bit. Go to the bathroom if you need to, get a drink, go get a snack, anything you like that. And we'll continue with this, where they're going to digest some of the info they've gotten and kind of figure out what they're doing next as the plan continues to come together for the big heist. So, see you in a little bit.